What's up? What's up? What's up? Orale canales. Orale gente. Orale Califia. Well, tonight it's another episode of the super casual, not formal Yes California meeting. As you can tell, I'm wearing a tank top because it's super cash. We're going to have a good time. We're going to laugh our ass off. First, we're going to talk about some really disturbing stuff that's going to make you cry, because that's what we do. We look into stuff that nobody else will, especially the mainstream media, and we go to places in the dark corners of the mind and of America and the future of the government that most people simply won't. It's terrifying, and it keeps me up at night. And simply to keep my sanity, we have got to laugh and, have some recreation. So just to prove it, like right now, flavor country. I wouldn't do that on the formal show. We're smoking. I mean, look at that shit. Look, watch. Hold on. This is to get our female audience up. Huh? That's because we fuck around here. I know it seems a little bit awkward, but hey, Jason, what's up? This is the fucking around. Super fun, good times, kind of irrelevant, reverent humor. Sunday at 11. That's the serious show. We get dressed up. We have politicians on. We interview people. We talk about big news. We talk about the trajectory of America. We talk about action items, etc. This is the, if you don't occasionally laugh, you're going to be crying if you wade into the muck as much as we do show. So we have got to chill and relax a little bit here, and that's what this is. So I'm smoking. Look how relaxed I am. Tonight, we're going to be featuring a selection of some of the top joints produced in California. Here, look at this. I am not advocating these joints. I'm just showing you that we got some. We also are going to be looking at the Wawa. Now, these I like. Yes, this has absolutely nothing to do with secession. Thank you. This is about us having a good time. What we want to do is, the whole point of Yes California was to get people to talk about the idea of California being a nation and to go to those uncomfortable places. And so we always said if we have to wear a clown outfit and jump up and down to get people to do it, we would do it. Well, that's the Tuesday evening show. So we're going to talk about some weed. Look at that. Voila. These are good. People like this, like for real. Carry a pack of these around. You go to the party, whatever, you smoke a little joint. Like half the group's going to smoke, and they'll go, "Can I have one?" And I want to show you something. They're fucking conveniently in this box that easily open. This shit is not working. Okay, well, fuck it. They're that small. So you can smoke a little one, and there's a bunch. I'll try to get this box open. Sometimes I'm stupid as shit with some stuff. So, oh, there you go. Okay, here we go. So what you can see, these are like individual joints. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Voilà's great. People love it. So whether you smoke, whether you don't smoke, these people are not sponsors. I'm just saying it's a great little joint. I went over to Fresno. We have something called the Fulton Fest. Went and met some people. And I have social anxiety just like you. We're the same. But I like meeting people, still the same. I'm an introvert, so I need like a little bit of extra motivation to get out there and meet folks. And we're packing around the Voila cannabis pre-roll joints. It's a good way to make friends. Okay. Whoops, that's... Goddamn, am I clumsy? Anyways, this is the informal show, so we're going to have laughs. And I'm just letting everybody know, get ready for laughs, because I got the shit to make you cry. All right? You ready for it? You want to get into some tears? Laugh, cry? That's the whole Latin thing. If you ever see like Latin gangsters, they got like the playing card of the Joker. And then they got a playing card of like Sad Eyes. It's like a clown crying. It's from a 1950s song, like Tears of a Clown. But it's basically the laugh, cry. And so we're going to be taking that and doing it here. Man completes 1,316 juggling catches on balance board while blindfolded. Silent Mike, tell me that's going somewhere. I just read off your banner. All right. Okay, let's get into the show. Here we go. I got a lot of stuff lined up for you. So obviously right now, national divorce is blowing up. It's super huge, super big. Everyone's talking about it. We predicted it first here at Yes California. Seller Silverman talked about it. People said that this is just a fluke, but we were looking at some of the interaction between her and conservative politicians, and we noticed there was an uptick. Now, because we had been doing this for about 7 years and following the news and getting our own narratives into the media, we were able to predict. We estimated the way that we thought it was going to go because we had seen ourselves interact with the media that way. So when Sarah Silverman started talking, and then she was talking with the conservatives and they were interacting it, then I was like, okay, well, how's that going to go? So Quinn,
Mark,
hey, what's up? So Quinn, my buddy's here. Quinn, tonight we're smoking some of these. This is Alien Labs. I'm not endorsing them. I'm just letting everyone know. We also are going to be looking at Voila. And I would say get your beer, get your drinks, get your smokes, because as we're going to, this is how we do. This is what we do. There you go. Root beer. Fair enough. We're going to get dark. And it's going to get a little sad because we're going to cover the truth and the facts. And whoa, what are we looking at right here? Nice.
Blurry.
Nice. Jason, what is it? What THC level are we looking at? Ooh.
Oh.
All right. It's upside down. There you go. Flavor. 1 gram of flavor. Oh, is that the shit you were telling me about? Up in the
buddy.
With the medical grade? Nice.
Yeah.
He's got the hookup. He knows dudes up in the Bay Area who's like got medical grade stuff.
81.3% concentrated.
Oh, you're
Light it up.
So light it up, have a good time, chill, come on camera, relaxed. If you want to see the formal show, it's Sunday. It's Sunday at 11s. You can see me in a suit. We're going to be super formal. I make everybody else be formal. Everything has to be professional because we are like a corporation, and that's how we got that far, was that basically we started off with 5 dudes who didn't know what the fuck we were doing. And eventually we grew to a level of professionalism that mirrored $300,000 corporations who were trying to keep California together by fighting against Tim Draper's plan. Wow, that's a lot of dishes. That's a lot of dishes right there. It's a lot. I could do those for you when I get up there. I'm good at dishes. Not just because I'm that was the game. My brother cooked. I did dishes. So we're gonna get dark. It's gonna get deep. We're gonna cover the real issues, just like we do on the formal show. The difference is that we're gonna try to laugh so we don't cry. Right? So we're going to talk about national divorce. We're going to cover a little bit about that. Then we're going to cover a plan to fix homelessness here in California. Obviously, it goes without saying, we're talking to our expert on the subject here of homelessness in California, Quinn Reynolds. We've done a lot of events together, and she has a plan that I fucked up. I mean, Quinn, I'm sorry. You sent it to me like 3 times. That was
Hey, you said it. I did not me.
I fucked up. No, my mom always taught me. She's like, when you fuck up, just admit it publicly, so that people don't walk around going, oh, this guy, let's go. Because after you go, like I fucked up, like there's nothing really left to say, right? You're like, I screwed up. Can we fix it? Will you work with me to fix it? No. Well, then now you look like the bad guy. So I should have been paying more attention. I'm sorry. We're doing all this stuff. We are going to cover it today. It is a plan to fix homelessness as developed by the homeless advocate and expert on the subject, LaQuinta Reynolds. Quinn Reynolds will be covering that, but we got to get into the main thing here first. Sorry, Quinn. We will be covering that in a little bit. First, we're going to get into national divorce. Now, national divorce is blowing up in the news. There was Marjorie Taylor Greene did a poll, regardless of what you think about her. 90,000 people came out, and it still showed about 52% were open to the discussion of national divorce, which is the key phrase for secession. Now, I did a couple videos on that this week. I encourage you to check them out. If you want to see super formal stuff, watch the videos. I send you all, it's full tie. I got the green tie like Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's all stats, all total newscaster like Edward R. Murrow. So that's super formal, and that's there, and it's the same guy. This is the informal show. That's why I'm in the tank top. Also, Quinn, I think you may back me up on this one. I told you that I was racially profiled by the cops, and it was for wearing an outfit just like this. The only difference was it was late at night and in a predominantly Caucasian neighborhood, and I was sweaty. That's why if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see a lot of political stuff for Yes California, but I've also started a new show called The Sweaty Mexican Chronicles, after the Chronicles of Riddick. Big Vin Diesel fan, kind of picture myself, Vin Diesel. Quinn, please don't gag.
You know when it hurts when it goes down?
Diesel. No,
Oh,
that's
I said that
really
wrong.
catching it. God.
You know what I meant.
So I said I think of myself as like a kind of Vin Diesel, and you just started laughing. That's what the video is going to show. So
No, the sweaty part.
The Sweaty Mexican Chronicles, yes. Because it happens. We all sweat. You get sweaty.
To the window.
You look normal. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So,
never mind.
and again, this isn't about any group against any other group. This is about California's awesome, but we have some policy issues we have to work out, and that's all I'm saying. So that's why the tank top's here. It's also because we're informal. We're chilling. We're going to have a good time here. So let's go ahead and start with the stuff that'll make us cry. Let me get this joint up again.
So to be clear, so informal, you're Marcus. Now you're Marcus, but formally, you're Mark. I'm just trying to be clear. Right now, you're Marcus because we're informal, right? I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, that brings up a good point. I'm gonna say something here.
I'm gonna leave you alone.
Yeah, you know what?
I'm gonna leave you alone.
There's a certain team member who can go and fuck herself, and I'll say it, okay? Because you know who you are. I'm gonna text you right after the show. Because and this is great. I'm talking to you because I was like pissed off this morning. I was calling to tease you. Had it in my head. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make fun of Quinn, and I'm going to go, "Hey, how's Lori Lightfoot doing? You know, what's up? Because you know her, right? In the Beetlejuice photo." And then you're like, "Sure thing, Mark." And my ego was like this, and it just went. It was like fucking bullshit because I was like, "Hey, it's me, Mark from accounting. Hey." So if you watched the other show a week ago, the formal show, like I got crushed by Cassie. That she likes to go, and like she rocked my shit hard in front of everybody. It's a bit embarrassing. You know, I spent years crafting this tough guy, nothing gets to me, impervious. Captain Commander, as I like to call it. And boy, that was punched through in about 1 hour. So thanks.
We'll create a safe word.
Let's go with the safe word, pineapple. It's going to be pineapple because then that's... Okay. Let's start crying. Here we go.
Aw.
All right. Okay, so this is the first serious issue we're going to get. Oh, oops, that's a picture of Jim Carrey from the movie
Ace Detective.
Yeah, part 2, when he came out of the rhino. Okay. Civil War is in the news. And it's not Civil War. Totally lost my train of thought because I'm a big Jim Carrey fan. Here we go. Let's get serious. So here you go. So people were talking about national divorce, and they were talking about a second Civil War as a form of national divorce.
See Civil War coming. This is not my part. Brought to you by The Bulwark. All right, so you know Marjorie Taylor Greene, that insane MAGA Congress lady who spends time with the polyamorous tantric sex guru and who thought Jews with space lasers created the wildfires? You know the one.
Unfortunately, yes.
Well, she sent a tweet this week that caught my eye. She asked whether we need a national divorce where red states and blue states split up. Who cares, Georgia?
Yeah, I know. I am the worst.
Okay, so here's the thing. They're talking about national divorces. We've been covering it. National divorce has been going very big in the news. We predicted that here at Yes California, that when Sarah Silverman talked about it, but then there was the reaction from the right to Sarah Silverman that it was going to get even larger. Nobody else was saying that. We made that prediction about 3 weeks ago. The topic has only expanded. Now, going into our bag of goodies, as activists for a long time, one of the people we always look at is Gandhi, because he was one of the most effective activists ever in the world. And Gandhi had a very famous phrase that we kind of go to as a mantra here, which is first they ignore you, second they laugh at you, third they fight you, and then fourth you win. You might think that after fighting is losing. No, it goes ignore, then laughter, and then when they can't laugh at you and make you belittle you, then and only then do they fight you. But the moment that they fight you, they have revealed that you actually have the power, that you are a threat. And the reason that the power can stay in power is that everybody thinks they can't be toppled. So nobody thought the British Empire could be brought down during the time that Gandhi was alive until it happened. And so it was when they started to fight him that Gandhi realized, oh, a bunch of us poor Indians can actually topple the world's mightiest empire the Earth has ever known. And he was correct. First they ignored him. Then they laughed at him as a man in diapers. And they said, who cares what some peasant in India says? Well, that was ignorance, because Gandhi was a lawyer. And he was trained as a barrister. And he had practiced law in other English colonies. And his family had money. But they were ignorant. And so they did not appreciate him for his intelligence. And they laughed at him. Now, that didn't work, because he was smart and he did have a plan to bring down the British. What followed up was then they started to fight him. But the moment that they started to fight him, all the Indian people realized the Brits were scared. They'd never seen scared British before. And that got them all sorts of excited, which gave them the energy to Gandhi to actually win. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. And it's not they fight you and you go into struggle and they do something else. It's the moment they fight you, you win. That's the key part. So what we're looking at here is they're talking about national divorce. We predicted exclusively here at Yes California that was going to get big. And now they're attacking it. So first they ignored it. Sarah Silverman was talking. She was talking. Conservatives were talking. We were saying this is going to get bigger. Nobody was saying that at all. That's about 3-4 weeks out in the past. That's ignore. Then they made fun of it, where they're talking about, look at how stupid Marjorie Taylor Greene is. She's ignorant, she's dumb, she had this poll. That's making fun of it. But now they are attacking. And here's some of the attacks. Civil War, you got to be kidding me, by the Bulwark. We just showed you that.
Some more Looney Tunes talk.
Right, she's crazy.
Brought to you by the Bulwark. All right, so you know Marjorie Taylor Greene, that insane MAGA Congress lady who spends time with the polyamorous tantric sex guru and who thought Jews with space lasers created the wildfires? You know the one.
Unfortunately, yes.
Well, she sent a tweet this week that caught my eye. She asked whether we need a national divorce where
Okay, so you can see that they're mocking the concept and making fun of it. But here's the interesting thing. So this is October 14th, 2021 by the Bulwark. Civil War, you got to be kidding me. So this is them mocking it. Now I'm going to show you something here. Here's the Bulwark. It's time to stop talking about national divorce. This is from March 2019. They were saying stop talking about national divorce 2 years ago, and now they're doing the exact same thing again. It ain't working, Bulwark. I mean, I know you're part of the system. I know you're trying to fight back, but if you were effective, why are you doing the same thing 2 years later? Turns out they're not alone. So if you type in national divorce right now, you're going to see this article. National divorce is a poisonously stupid idea. Look how stupid and dumb and backwards and how stupid and dumb and how stupid and dumb. Okay. So if you just go to Google search, try to type in national divorce, you'll see this. It'll pop up. It'll be one of the first articles there. And then it'll be by this guy, Rich Lowry. So this is October 8th, 2021. You can also see this one, which is October 14th. So this is around this time in October is when the system is starting to fight back. And they're saying it's stupid. They're making fun of it. So he was saying, you got to be kidding me. This is a stupid idea. So it's the same memology as we saw with the British versus English. So here's backwards. You're dumb. You're belittle. We'll just ignore you. But I got to say, it's not a coincidence that you have different people from different magazine sources attacking at the exact same time with roughly the exact same stage in the 4-part corollary that we saw with identified by the great one, Mahatma. So poisonously stupid idea. Here's the interesting thing. This is from this year. Well, here we go. Let's keep it together. We're against the less secessionist fantasies. September 2020 by Rich Lowry. Hey, stop talking about that. Didn't we tell you 2 years ago to stop talking about that? Hey, stop talking about that. Didn't I tell you a year ago to stop talking about that? So it's not working. That's the big point. They're continuing to have to complain about the topic year after year with the same point of belittling it, and yet the topic doesn't go away. What that means is if we're looking at the Gandhi hierarchy, first they ignore you, then they make fun of you, then they fight you, and finally you win. We're clearly in the stage where they're laughing at it. However, because it's not working, they'll have to up the ante and go to the fighting stage. So what I'm showing you right now is this is the make fun of it stage, and they're going to have to go to the fighting stage. And when they do that, that's great because that's how we win. One other thing is here's Connecting California. Let's consider a national divorce so Americans can stay friends. This is by Joe Matthews. This is also October 15, 2021. So it's kind of the different opinion. He's encouraging national divorce, but just pointing out that there's national divorce as a phrase. This is a year ago. So it's getting picked up. And this is one of my favorite ones. Do you trust your state officials more than...
If I can, real quick, when is the article I wrote coming out? Because I think it's the best and clearest case for secession, right? That appeals to all sides, no matter what your side is. You love America? Pro-secession. You hate America and you want to see it crumble? Pro-secession. You want California to be free? Pro-secession. You hate secession? Pro-secession. The article really spells it out very clearly how no matter what side you take on the issue, your choice will undoubtedly need to be pro-secession in order to get what you want for everyone. So I'm just wondering when that's coming out, because we've got all of this slam stuff, and I wrote that, what, a week or two ago now?
I'm trying to pull it up now.
Yeah, I mean, you've got like the final draft. I guess Lewis was going to edit it, because
that's
really edit your own material.
Well, that's a Lewis question. So the website is being redesigned to focus on national divorce. We are going to have blog posts. We have been submitting them to Lewis to post the blog post there. And we are going to relaunch the book California Future, which initially got us into the newspaper in 2015, and it's separate 2 LA Times articles in 2015, which was our vision of what a independent California may look like. That's also going to be attached to the website. We're also going to have online certification courses in the laws related to it so that people can earn online certification and be able to speak about that. And all of that's coming together in a package. And I have full faith in Lewis to be able to deliver it. But we have he basically told me he was going to have that up by the end of the month. So,
Okay.
Some of it.
I mean, I'm not in a super rush for the whole site. I'm just like in a rush for that article. But if the article is being attached to the site, then okay, that's fair enough. That's fair that we have to wait for the article.
Yes, it's all coming up together. It's all combined. If you want more information, you'll have to talk to Lewis. I like to have people assigned to certain projects, and then I largely just trust that if they're in the driver's seat, to trust them to get it done. I understand, time's of the essence. I wish it was done now. He has till the end of the month. He promised me that he would have the website redesigned for national divorce, with at least one of the courses up. and packaging and the book. So it's like you go to the website and people are talking about national divorce, and then we just have this nice corporate looking website, which seems to be framed around the whole idea so we can pull the media into it. On top of that, you'll see our book automatically. So it'll appear to be a book on national divorce when it's not. It was just our old book that we kind of revamped. And then you'll have online certification, and we will be the only one in America with online certification for secession law. So nobody's offering that, not Harvard, not anybody. So it's a big package. Thanks, Quinn. Love that. Appreciate the. And it's all based on the law. So it's not our opinion. It's what the law says. And we cite everything so people can become experts like us. And they can argue with us if they want or agree. So it's up to them. So that's the big idea. We'll do that. That's all coming. Anyways, the point is that national divorce is here. They're at the make fun of it stage, but I think they're going to go to the fight it stage. As we saw 2 different attack articles that will be coming a little bit more this evening, attacked it. And then they kind of tried to make fun of it and make it look stupid. But the fact is that they've done this 1 to 2 years in a row. So, the system never escalates. The system would not move from ignoring the problem to making fun of the problem if ignoring it worked. Right? They don't want to give it any sort of attention. That's automatically the first thing. They only go to making fun of it when they cannot get people to ignore it. And they only jump from making fun of it to attacking it when making fun of it doesn't work. So it's ignore it. Oh, damn, people are paying attention to it. Now we have to make it seem stupid to have this idea. Oh, damn, people still are buying into this. Now we have to destroy this idea and put our full weight into it. And they always assume that they'll win because they have more resources. What they're never aware of is that part of the mystique of why people allow them to be in power is that nobody challenges them. There's not enough cops. There's not enough military for them to control everybody. Even in China, there isn't. Even in North Korea, there isn't. These places run because most people accept. And when people feel that the government is weak and can be toppled or whatever, there you go. That's real change. So national divorce is going to get escalated. They're going to start fighting back against that time. And that is a good thing because that's where they reveal weakness and then we attack. So I know some people say, hey, don't reveal the whole game plan. I get it. But on the other hand, nobody's talking about this. This isn't taught in schools. They don't have books. We only know this because we've been at it for years, almost like 10 years. And there's like 600 of us that have basically been sharing notes over the last couple of years and going over it and over and over and over and over. It's not published. You can't go find this. That's where you do the certification. And so if we don't have the videos and we don't explain it, then nobody's going to know. And how are we supposed to make something happen when only 6 people understand the language of the priests? It's not possible. In the medieval times, only the priests knew how to read and write. Almost nobody else. They didn't get a whole lot accomplished because there was like 12 people in this country the size of France who knew how to read. That was like called the Dark Ages. Hint, hint. Communication allows people to understand ideas and move towards something. So,
and slavery.
Yeah.
We were killed for reading. We did. That's how they control you. The less you know, that's how they control you. We were killed for wanting to learn how to reading.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You couldn't read. You would be killed. Yeah. And that's what they did during the Dark Ages too. Because they would say that it was, you were not a priest. And so you should not know Latin. And therefore it was a sin and satanic and you could be killed. So it's interesting that, they wanted to subjugate the entire continent of Europe. They did the exact same thing as when they wanted to subjugate slaves in the South. Keep them not able to communicate at a mass scale. So that's why we do this. I do want to point this out here. So I just like this one part. Joe Matthews is saying, or do you cling to hopes of national unity or believe in compromise to preserve our union of 330 million? Then you're part of the problem. Wow. That's Joe Matthews. That is a major California policy reporter. He's not just whoever. He's a policy reporter. Like he covers government and stuff. He's well respected. And that's him saying that a year, and it is coming to pass. So again, national divorce, stupid idea, laughter phase. But here's the thing: they made the exact same argument a year before, the exact same guy in the exact same publication, and it didn't work. Stop talking about national divorce. Here's the bulwark. 2019 didn't work. Now they're going, you got to be kidding me. So this is actually, they're trying to get you to ignore it. Stop talking about it. And then this is, they're going to make fun of it. So again, everything's pointing to, it's going to be attack. So comments about where people think we might be in the stage of this. And then I wanted to ask a few, then we're going to go to the homeless thing, and then we're going to cover some counterpoints. Any comments from anybody? Silent Mike, do you have anything to say?
I do.
Quinn.
I'll be the first to admit I'm naive. I'm not the most educated on a lot of politics, but I believe that this has always been a backup plan since forefathers. In the event they lose control, or people rise up or above, this is always the fail-safe. And I believe most recently this has been going on ever since Trump was in office. Make America Great Again. That was kind of like their little bat signal.
That's good.
I got a supremacist in office. My followers, like Hitler or whoever, Jim Crow, that was Trump. The new symbol, the current symbol of that era. So I think that he was more of the siren, like I said, in the beacon. And then everybody came out, from wherever they were, from where we at before, because he definitely brought, I don't say brought it out, it's always been there, but like I said, that was a calling, their siren, and they all came to surface. And this was their plan I always argue with people with Make America Great Again. I said, when was America ever great? And nonetheless, who was it great for? So I think back to, obviously, slavery, the Asians, the camps, to me, that was the subliminal message with Make America Great Again. And this divorce, that's the nice term instead of separation.
Right.
Where black colors can't drink from from fountains. This is how, call it what you want, wordplay. It's separation. It's divide. And I think instead of them saying, let's go back to those ways, they're just sugarcoating it with a different jargon. Just being candid, sorry. That's what
we want. That's what we want. That's absolutely what we are hoping for here. I do think it's code. I do think the term national divorce means secession. I do think the fact that a lot of conservatives picked up on that term. Sarah Silverman said it, but then they started responding to it. A lot of conservatives that were interested in this were coming from the South. So, I have family in the South. They still remember the Civil War, and they're still upset they lost. I'll just go ahead and say it. I have cousins from down there, and they're still like, we could have done this differently. And I'm like, whatever, man. Like, it's a long time ago. Couldn't agree more. Speak it, milady. That's what Silent Mike has to say.
Thank you, Mike.
So,
thank you.
Just to back up what Quinn was talking about, here's a quote from John Quincy Adams in 1839. Far better will it be for the people of the disunited states to part in friendship with each other than be held together by constraint. John Quincy Adams, 1839, that was the second president and one of the founding fathers. So when Quinn's talking about maybe they've always had this idea, disunited, divorce stuff going back, there's right there. That's historical evidence for that. Good call, Quinn. I want to spend some time doing counter arguments, but I want to go to the homeless issue. And we'll go over your plan. Is that cool, Quinn?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So we're going to talk about the plan to fix homelessness by LaQuinta Reynolds. And Quinn, I'm going to pull up some of the key sections from that right now, and I'll do it on share screen, and then you can talk over that so people can see the text There you go. So you should see homeless are us.
God, that's so tiny.
Okay, here, I'll fix that. Give me 1 second.
Now I'm just gonna make my whole screen into this because I had it
There you go.
minimized. No, it's
How about
fine now. I had to open my full screen because I had different windows open with this.
So take us away so people can see this text while you're speaking. That's good background.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Song? That's my theme song. Remember, I'm gonna get you, sucker.
So this is a plan. Homeless are us. Obviously, a play on words. It's a transitional shelter and housing and an organization that provides temporary and permanent housing and various resources. The facility is a one-stop destination that provides clients with an 8-step program that teaches them necessary life skills. This collaborative approach to empowerment is the keystone to developing self-sufficiency in the clients. The steps include personal development, vocational training, substance abuse counseling, interpersonal skill building, community involvement, leisure activities, independent living skills, and many more. It aids individuals frequently homeless as they move from dependent, often into independent, self-sufficient lifestyles. Some of the on-site services that are going to be provided will be working with the Social Security Administration, the Veterans Administration, the Department of Public Social Services, the California Employment Development Department, the Department of Motor Vehicles, mental health therapy, addiction rehabilitation, domestic violence services and support, child care resource center, child care daycare, live scan, workshops, interviewing. I'm sorry. There's a lot of.
These are just the workshops, some of the workshops that are being involved.
I'm going to mute everybody real quick because there's a lot of background real quick. I'm sorry. Let me read it with a clean audio. Sorry. All right. And some of the services will include Social Security Administration, Veterans Administration, Department of Public Social Services, California Employment Development Department, the Department of Motor Vehicles, mental health therapy, addiction rehabilitation, domestic violence services and support, child care resource center, child care daycare, live scan, workshops, interviewing skills, tips, resume building, etiquette, etc., auxiliary clothes, bus pass, gift cards, food and gas only, technical and vocational training, adult education, credit repair, business startup entrepreneur programs, housing assistance, rent mortgage, utilities, security deposit, down payment, and furniture and appliances, a medical facility / clinic for non-emergency. Services are part of many of the program's interventions. People are offered or connected to services that are tailored to the needs of their household, but those services are not mandated and the people are not coerced into accepting them. This is the plan for Homeless Are Us, a transitional shelter and housing with various services provided by different agencies together. And Quinn, take it away. I think some of the feedback you've gotten about this is that no one's doing anything like this. There isn't anything like this. There may be things that are similar to this, but the holistic view and the extent that you're taking to it is novel. Is that right?
Correct. A majority of them, like I said, offer similar services, but they're on a smaller scale. I did this to this scale for that same reason. You know, you go to one place, oh, well, you have to go here. It's like you constantly getting referred and bounced, you're going in circles. When you refer to that place, they refer you to somewhere else, and that place refers you to somewhere else. So the ideal or ideology of this is for it to be a one-stop program where all your services are available to you on site instead of having to go to different locations, get bounced around. You're going to get those services on site, whatever they may be.
Okay. And so that'd be basically the idea is that, and I was surprised when you're telling me that this doesn't seem to exist already. So it's all of the different services that somebody trying to get up on their feet would need, provided by all of the different agencies, but all localized into one thing right next to where they're living. So you could have people live in an area separate from the city, They would have the housing conditions they need, the sleeping and the food, but then they would have all the services literally like right up against their nose that they would need to be able to transition back into society. And when initially you told me about this, I wasn't super excited because I thought, duh, but I was shocked to see what you were saying is that nobody else is doing this, right? I mean, like you've been asking around, some famous people like, Mayor Lightfoot, different other people. And but you've also had a lot of conversations on homeless situation. You've been dealing with this issue. You've met other people, and you had talked to some other people who had worked in homeless agencies. And your opinion from everything you've seen was that they were telling you no one's doing anything like this on the scale. Is that correct?
Correct. There's something that the closest to what I'm doing. There's Bridging the Gap. That's the gentleman I was telling you about when I met with through Mike Bonin's office, our councilman from the 11th district. Their program is called Bridging the Gap, and they have on-site services, but again, not to the scale of what I have. They'll offer, there's job, vocational training. They have several of those services available there, but not to that extent. And most of those services are individual entities, DPSS. They're all standalones. That's why I'm saying it's easier to have it on site, because when I go somewhere, like I said, you're being referred around. You need to go DPSS for food stamps and Medi-Cal. You need to go to this program for this. If you're a vet, you got to go to the VA's office. And most people can't get down to LA or try to get to a local office in the area, or if it's outside. And I'm in the desert, so a lot of these, are hard to get to because of the distance alone. So it would be nice to where, and convenient if you're somewhere where everything you need can provide it right there on that site, or at least they can handle that for you there on that site, so that you having to go travel to get those services.
I'm still shocked that this doesn't exist. I mean, I remember we had talked about this initially with Kevin Paffrath had a plan to put everybody in military camps under guard and isolate them. Now, he said he was going to provide all these services, and it's sort of, in that way, somewhat approached your plan, but this is not what he was suggesting. Is that fair?
Yeah, and remember, the military was going to come out with compassion smiles and be compassionate. So, I mean, that's hypocritical in its own. If I see military coming up to me, that is not compassionate to me. If they're saying they want to provide services for me, that's an oxymoron to me.
Well,
and remember, it's a community. So the goal is to purchase some land and build a community where it's strictly for homeless people. Therefore, we'd be isolated. And I think isolation is the best part, because out here in communities and the cities, we're not wanted. We can't go to grocery stores. We can't grow. I mean, I've been everywhere where people come in asking just for some water. Sorry, we it's for customers, or we can't, or they won't even let them pay for the water. They just don't want homeless people around in general. So this place is more ideal for us, because we're not going to be told where we can sleep, where we can't go. And as you know, the mayor, that ordinance criminalizing homelessness. There's just a recent one where they're saying that they can't have tents, they can't sleep. So the goal is to rid of homeless people. So at least here, it's a safe haven for them, because it's for them, and by someone who is homeless. So it's like FUBU, by us, for us. So I'm homeless. This is something that I can relate to, and I'm doing this for us. So it's all about us.
Awesome. Awesome.
Can I butt in and say something real quick?
Yeah.
So as a fellow housing impaired person currently, I fully support and agree with the project, and I commend you for stepping up and doing something, because I mean, it's kind of maybe 1 out of 10 of us out on the streets who get civically engaged and don't just give up. I mean, things do look quite grim down here.
I know. And just to personal tip. My goal was I have 2 lawsuits going on. That's how I ended up in this situation. Just a FYI. And my goal was that was a part of me, a way of me to give back. My goal was when God blessed me, I was like, God bless me with enough settlements where I can build what I'm trying to do right now, to give back and to be there still as support, as as some light, enlightenment, whatever for them. But I've realized for 3 years now, being homeless, I can't depend and wait on that. And something just clicked. Quinn, you don't have to wait to help these people or to help people. You can do this. And it just became more like, I can kill 2 birds in 1 stone. Because I'm, as Marcus know, we did hands. I'm out here, every day. I give groceries. I've done their taxes. I do what I can to help them. So this ended up just becoming more of a, okay, well, I can help other people while and helping myself at the same time. Because I'm still trying to get out of this situation because I'm still homeless. So I figured my focus is going to be this, because while I'm doing this is also beneficial to me as well and my son. So instead of waiting, I figured do it head on right now, because this might be my only opportunity or only means to get out of this situation, instead of waiting on this lawsuit. If I can lose the lawsuit. So that's not guaranteed. At least this, if I, make this happen, this comes to fruition, this will change my life as well as others.
And on a totally different note, it just started raining here in San Francisco. Yay, California rain. Maybe it's an omen, just saying.
Out here, I'm in desert, so we have our weather is extreme. It's either extremely hot or extremely cold. It rained a few days, then it was warm, but I give it another week or definitely by the end of this month, our temperatures are 20 degrees. I lived in my car even with the heater on and still was freezing. Ice was frozen. We get into 20 degrees or less. So it's extremely cold out here. And, our temperature is 115 degrees, between 115 and 120, humid heat. Marcus, you were out here. And I'll let you describe how hot it was out here that day. And now was a good day for 106 or 108 degrees. Actually, I think it was 108 or 109 that day. That's on a good day.
I was sweating just watching him sweat.
It was insane.
So just imagine people without shelter, without shoes. Imagine how many dead bodies haven't been discovered yet from dehydration.
That's real.
Or heat stroke.
Damn.
Well, yeah, and then, the desert regions are full of scavengers. So usually if someone isn't found out in the middle of nowhere, it's because scavengers, unfortunately, got there first. I'm talking like scavenger animals. Sorry, it's kind of dark, but it's reality.
It's out, yeah. It is.
This was
it's not even just the desert. It's also like I was with candidate Stimbraze in her car, her SUV, and we were here in San Francisco, heavily populated area, broad daylight, mid-afternoon. Saw a coyote the size of like a golden retriever, German shepherd, just, kind of walking at a brisk pace down the sidewalk, off the sidewalk into the road, down some other lane,
Well, those are in our neighborhood. So just imagine those that are out in the middle of nowhere where the homeless are being forced to go.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to get at. Thank you.
Yeah. And not only that, a lot of the homeless people out here have gangrene. Even when it's cold, frostbite. The weather out here alone will kill somebody. So.
And Right, and the people there do not have the facilities that they need to be able to adequately deal with that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we said there were going to be some tears.
I'm trying.
No, we're delivering.
So far.
This is The Plan to Fix Homelessness by Quinn Reynolds. It's called Homeless Are Us. It's transitional shelter and housing. Bring a bunch of services together. One-stop shop, teaches life skills. Some of those skills would include these things. Services are voluntary. You don't have to do it. It's there for people if they want it.
Or need it.
Or need it. Why was Pavlov's hair so soft? The guy who trained dogs? Pavlov, the dog trainer?
The dog whisperer?
No,
I cheated. I saw it pop up in chat.
It's because he conditioned it. He trained them to, he'd give them food and they'd salivate and then he'd train them to, okay. So, there you go. Okay, so, Quinn, last comments on the homeless plan, or is there an email I can give out to people to contact you?
Of course.
Can
we put it in the?
Yeah, put it in the.
Quinn is the bestest, most super awesomest ever in the whole wide world.com. No.
I'm turning purple. Stop it.
Like, my God. My God.
I mean, we want to get more into because my whole thing is this is a never-ending story. I'm about to choke up. Sorry. This is. I'm just tired of talking about it. It's a never-ending story.
No, keep going. Keep going. I said there was tears.
No, it's just the main.
Keep going. You keep going.
At this point,
it's hard to hear what she's saying when you're doing
it. I know he is. I just want action at this point. I wish we all can come together and just make something happen. Like I said, it's a never-ending story. I'm tired of it's been discussed for eons. Talking about it isn't doing anything. It's nice to come here and be able to, get things off our chest with each other. I'm just like, okay, so how much talking do we need to do? Like, I'm getting cotton mouth. I'm getting dry mouth. Like, I mean, it's like, what is talking about it doing? I think the main issue that we're having when you think about, all these advocates and activists, I think the best way to really do anything or to complete our missions or do anything that we're trying to do, it boils down to federal funding and resources. The money is there. And like when he mentioned how people, is he playing the never ending story?
Who?
Is he playing the never ending story?
No, I don't know. That's in your head. Keep going. You're crazy. Keep going.
You're playing? Okay.
No one's playing it. No one's playing anything. That's in your head. Keep going. Yep. I don't know what's going on. You were talking about the never ending story.
I got something for you. Okay.
So Quinn, that's the sentiment that led to me about to run for mayor of San Rafael. That was why I was going to do it. You did
mention that. You're right. Okay, I just totally forgot about that. You did mention I'm running for mayor.
Well, I never got the paperwork because they were closed due to, current medical crisis situation. So the vice mayor who worked there was the only person who had access to the paperwork.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she's the mayor now, and her first thing she did, pretty much the opposite of what I was going to do. I wanted to desegregate San Rafael and most of Marin all together. I was going to try and lead the charge on that. Because Marin City is where you'll find most of the African American population of Marin County. The Canal District in San Rafael, or a certain part of Novato is where you find the Latino majorities of Marin. Most of the rest of it is these really nice ridges and green valleys and have the highest price tags. And so, you know, it's only wealthy white folk. And
Marcus,
then,
check
you know,
your phone.
the ridges that aren't occupied, the ridges and hills that aren't occupied, homeless folk have been rousted, had camps, total encampments, and, you know, the tent and everything in it, all your personal belongings in it, put through the wood chipper. Oh, gee, ouch. Thanks for laughing.
No,
It happened to me twice.
no, I sent him. He played the never ending story, and I sent him. Can you post it, Marcus? On here?
Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't laughing at you.
No, I wasn't laughing.
I was getting back at you for picking on me with never ending story.
No, because I grew up.
I was like, yikes, ouch, brother. Damn.
No.
I have both.
Yeah,
of those
I know the never ending story too. Come on, Falcor.
Right. No, I sent him a text because I didn't know how to upload it in here, so I sent it to him to post in here since he was playing that in his song. Because I said it's a never ending story.
I just emailed it to myself, did I? Yeah. I just get a second to come through.
No,
there it
yeah,
is. You're good, Quinn. Quinn, you're on it.
But yeah, I was just seeing the issue is, like I said, the federal resources. I know they have, like, what is that? The national. What is it? The national.
Oh, that's real. I'm sorry.
Isn't it cute? What is it? The National Coalition for Homelessness, or the national, the homeless of what? Have you heard of the National Coalition for Homelessness? Something like that. I was trying to. I'm just going off the top of my head. I was trying to do some research on that because I was trying to figure out other. You know, I think it's more like it's like an embodiment of all the homeless advocates and activists. It's kind of like a network. I believe that's what it is, if I'm referencing it right, of people that combat homelessness. But I think that we need to start.
Is it like the National Coalition to End Homelessness?
Yeah, I think it's called that. Am I right? The National I'm trying to remember abbreviation.
I think it is.
I think it's the National Coalition for Homelessness. Don't quote me. But it's a network of people, like, you know, advocates, activists, you know, people that experience homeless, people that come together, you know, for this, you know, kind of like a movement. The goal is to end and prevent homelessness, you know, like people's civil rights are protected, you know, in practice or whatever. But I'm saying, like, we need to do a homeless movement. You know, like how they had a Black Lives Matter or whatever. We need to do a homeless movement to where we can be the strength and power in numbers, where we kind of force their hand to, like, do something. Like, you know, how they do all these other movements for, you know, with all these people that are dying. Like, I'm comparing it to, I'm just saying we need to be on that same type of, you know, mindset and do a movement with this to show how serious and that this needs to be addressed and taken care of. Not saying that people aren't doing that to some extent, but I'm saying we need to do it on that level where it's nationwide or worldwide. Like, this needs to end now, or like declare war on homelessness, you know, or something. So I'm just tired. I'm just tired of talking about it. There's like already 500,000 people that are homeless already in just the United States, like 500,000 already. We've already hit that benchmark, that mark. You know, and I'm just tired.
What, here in California?
No, just in the United States alone. There's over half a million people that are
homeless. The number's higher than that.
Well, yeah, I'm just thinking
40 million, almost the same population as California, was at risk of being homeless if they didn't pass the eviction moratorium thing that got shot down.
Yeah, the eviction moratorium. Yeah, it was
so that's
7 million
like
here. So yeah, I can imagine what it is nationwide.
Yeah. Yeah, nationwide, it's got to be way more than $500,000.
I was trying to post some. I'm gonna post what I found. I can't upload stuff in here. That's what I don't like.
Post it to private chat.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, and I'm on my phone, so I can't.
But I can't upload like documents in here.
Oh no, yeah, you'd have to email those to me.
Okay.
Here's the world population view, homeless population by state.
Yeah, that's the link I just. Is that what I emailed you earlier, or that's the link you just clicked on?
That's the link I clicked on.
Oh, okay. I might email you.
Yeah, that shows like where we're at. California.
New York and California. California being number one.
Yeah, well, it's like here's New York, about here, and then here's California. So it's not like the next one up. It's like they had to create these matrices in between just to get to how out of whack California is to the rest of America with its homelessness. In America, there are over half.
Mike asks for the economic inequality map. If there is one, I would like to see it as well. I'm sure Marin County will be right up there if you search by county. Number one.
Economic inequality map. There's one for America. Can you guys see that? Yeah. There's the top 1% and bottom 99%, which kind of grades economic inequality. So looking at this, though, it does show, here we go, New York, Illinois, Nevada, California, Texas, Florida. So maybe New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island. So maybe 6 states out of 50 where the income inequality is really, really high, and that's definitely here in California. Now, this shows California on par with these others. I mean, maybe it's worse. I can't read that. I think this is 28.9. See if I can find this. Okay. So 28.9, 26, 34. It's worse in Florida. New York, it's 45. Wyoming, 40%. Really? Wyoming? Really? Huh. Okay. It's still bad. There's a couple places, and certainly it's very high here in California, which can't help with the homeless map, which I can't find.
Yeah, the link I sent, all those are for this year, 2021. That's information from data for 2021.
Okay, here we go. Oops. There you go. Homeless statistics by state. Total people experiencing homeless, 191. New York, 91. 27. It's like 5 times greater than everybody here in California. Does it go to more data if we click the state? No. Okay. Let's go state statistics, California. California homeless statistics, 161,000. Wow. 271 public school students experienced homelessness at least for part of the year. That's almost twice the number of the total who dealt with homelessness in total. Total family, total bed, the shelters only doubled up. Okay, wow. Okay. Last minute comments on the plan. Let me put up your email. We're going to do a few counterpoints and then we'll wrap up the show. I had your email here.
Yeah, put it in the private chat. I thought.
There you go. A plan to fix homelessness. Homeless are us. You can contact her at Quinn0430 at yahoo.com. That's Quinn0430 at yahoo.com. That's Quinn0430 at yahoo.com. KWIN 0430 at yahoo.com. You can find out all about Plan to Fix Homelessness, also known as Homeless Are Us, transitional shelter and housing, and an organization that provides temporary and permanent housing and various resources. The facility is a one-stop destination that provides clients within an 8-step program that teaches them necessary life skills. Some of those steps include personal development, vocational training, substance abuse counseling, interpersonal skill building, community involvement, leisure activities, independent living skills, and many, many more. Services are part of many of the program's interventions. People are offered or connected to services that are tailored to the needs of their household. These services are not mandated. And you can contact Quinn to find out some more about that. Quinn, thanks for presenting today. I really appreciate it. Now we're going to get back to some of the also upsetting stuff. So going back to national divorce, I know it's not a happy topic, but this is the article that's been going around everywhere. And sorry. Yeah.
I think
So
you're
this
throwing hints at somebody indirectly.
Yeah. So this national divorce is a poisonously stupid idea. If you type in national divorce, you're going to see them talk about this. This article here is almost everywhere. Now, what they're doing is they're reprinting this article. This originally came out from National Review. So what they'll do is they'll have local newspapers print this article. So it'll say St. Louis Herald, Miami Times Choice News, New York Syndicate, different little local newspapers, but it's a reprint of this article. And what that does is that saturates the Google search results with only versions of this article. That's why we were sure when we were talking about how the system is attacking, because you don't do that accidentally. You don't have one article and then it's printed in multiple other little newspapers around America, giving the untrained eye the concept that everybody's saying national divorce is bad because you're seeing multiple articles coming from different states. No, it's them just reprinting the same article all at the same time, which again gives the untrained eye the view that everybody thinks this is a stupid idea. And that is a classical psychological move. Shame, if you can make people feel bad and stupid, and that whatever they're thinking about is stupid, they will back away from it. Shame is very powerful. Mm-hmm. Now, he talks about some of the reasons why this is not a good idea. Just showing you. We're also going to cover this guy's thing, and he talks about why national divorce is such a stupid idea. Now, I've taken the liberty of already packaging it together. So, this is the article, National Divorce, Poisonously Stupid Idea by Rich Lowry. The first thing he says is that, and we'll get into this, but a disaggregated United States would be instantly less powerful, and Russia and China would love it, maybe invade. Number two, the United States is a continent-wide free trade zone, creating a vast domestic market that makes us all better off. And exchanging that for a balkanized market by the states would be horrible. So we have trade, we have roads. The moment we become disunited, there'd be no more trade with each other, and the economy would disintegrate. Here's part three. The United States foundering on its domestic divisions would be a significant blow to the prestige of liberal democracy. So this gets back to what Ronald Reagan was talking about, the city on a hill. Everybody around the world in this narrative looks to America as democracy, and if America couldn't manage their democracy that well, then the rest of the world would give up on democracy. How it would play out now with conservatives and progressives amply represented in every state in the union. So this is the concept that, so there's a state that's majority conservative. Well, it's got liberals in there, right? So what do you do with them? And they're, in a state like California, one of the things they say is there was, 3 million people that voted for Trump. 3 million. What are you going to do with 3 million, Quinn? I mean, out of a population of 40. Who cares? But they don't say that. They say 3 mil. So they go, I'm serious. Look at these articles, and they're all bringing up California, and they go, there's 3 million Trump voters, and what are you going to do out of a population of 40 million? And most of them...
Weren't they all dead, though? Those were dead people that were voting.
And a lot of the hardcore Trump supporters are in the far north of California, in the Jefferson area, which is not economically connected to the main drivers of the rest of California. So it's not that big an issue, but we'll get into that. Here's the other one. They say, if we're going to split up because we can't even agree on bathroom policies and pronouns, how are we going to agree to divvy up territory and resources? So this is the idea, right? Yeah, so this is the idea of conservatives and liberals would never peaceably agree to split ways because they can't agree on anything. Okay. Yeah, remember that, Quinn. Okay, we'll get back to that. Also, here's the other article, Civil War, you got to be kidding me, by The Bulwark, and their main attack is this. There's not real division in America. It's computer programs. They're designed to drive traffic, and they're just making people emotional and causing division, and all the excess division, all this talk about ripping each other apart at the seams, that's just computer programs, and if we just didn't have social media, it'd all go back to being normal in school. We'll find out. You got the... So Mike says, since we're speaking about national divorce, and we laugh and we cry.
How come I can't see the comments?
I hadn't posted it up yet.
Oh, I have a comment tab, but I don't see any.
Oh, nobody's been posting. We don't have anybody watching. Like there was 2 people.
Yeah, I just see Devil War that made America never great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was. I guess nobody wanted to watch it. I don't know. People weren't up for the show today. It's all right. We get we get more views after it's posted. So.
Oh, okay.
A friend of mine just got divorced. He and his ex-wife split the house. He got the outside. So talking about national divorce, there's a joke because we laugh, we cry. So let's get into these. The first one I want to tackle is the easiest one. National divorce doesn't need to happen because there really isn't division. There isn't really division. It's just computer programs and they're just making people upset. And, if we just turn off social media, they'll be fine and everything will go back together. Quinn, does that seem reasonable to you?
No.
Why not?
I think that was a nice word. I don't want to say retarded.
Can't say that.
That's what I say. I just don't think that's idealistic. This has been going on for eons as far as divide. And I do like that. I don't know who posted that comment where they're saying, how are we going to separate or divide when we can't even agree on what we're going to, and that's where I'm at with it. I'm like, we can't even agree to disagree. And if you do divide, you're going to have liberals, conservatives, all the same issues within your own divide, your own division. So then it's like, how often do you have to keep dividing? When does it end? Because you're never going to be able to just still regulate and control things how you want to. I guess that's a control factor. So I don't think division is realistic. Like if I have family over there, you're going to say, well, I can't travel to your state because I'm Black. Like I said, I think the key word really is separation, but they want to say, divide sectors because the policies, but no, it's a control factor. And if we do divide somehow, again, if I can't travel to New York or Texas or wherever, because I'm Black or Hispanic or whatever.
I guess that is a theoretical possibility. They're not saying that, but I mean, outside of California, if you have different states breaking up and they become separate nations, then in theory
they can do that.
They could. Yes.
They can do that.
They can do that. Absolutely. However, that gets at one of the counter arguments that they always had that, if America has a national divorce and the progressive states leave, then what about the minorities in the conservative states? They're left behind. And what about that? And I always thought, well, African-American people are moving to Georgia in record numbers. it's shifted the elections. Stacey Abrams is in power because of it. Latinos are moving and staying in Texas in record numbers. Both of those states are way more racist than California, have
Exactly.
passed regressive laws against abortion, and have passed laws limiting minorities in participating in them. But that has not discouraged minorities from moving to those states in droves.
It's also cheaper.
True. So
People live in California for that basic main reason, because it's cheaper.
Sure. But I'm just saying, if minorities in conservative states need protection because it's worse than in liberal states, then why are they leaving liberal states to go to conservative states where the racism is worse? I mean, the racism in Georgia is worse than here, and the racism in Texas, for damn sure, against Mexicans is worse than here.
And Alabama.
And in Alabama. So
that's where I'm from.
Okay, and if minorities need our protection, why are they still staying there, and why are they moving there?
It's the mentality, still that slave mentality. And I know people, as far as I know, that are moving there, is their thing, because it's cheaper and it's predominantly Black. It may be racist issues, but they're still the majority. And that mindset is like, I wish a motherfucker would. Trust me.
Sure.
So if they have those issues with the KKK, is not going to be walking around roaming like they were out here at the rallies, that Trump rallies. They're not doing that out there. It's a different generation.
Well, it sounds like almost like they don't need liberals not in their state protecting them, and they know what's best for them and can kind of protect themselves. Is that what you're saying?
I think it's generational. This generation, yes. The older ones, is the slave mentality. They're set in their ways, but a lot of, like our argument now is we're not our ancestors. That's our thing for this century. We're not our ancestors. Try that shit if you want to.
Jason, you're a computer guy, and Silent Mike, Robert. Is there real division in America, or is this just computer algorithms? And if we just stop watching social media, it would all go away, and there's no real actual divisions here. It's just a lot of hype.
His mic might be off or muted. You don't know.
Yeah, I guess I'll go first. I was pulling out the meat from the fridge to answer Mike's question earlier in the chat. There's a pound of ground lamb, a pound of ground sausage, pork sausage, and 3 pounds of ground beef, and my super duper secret spice blend that I hand ground in my mortar and pestle. I got my homemade sauce that's got the same spice blend. I'm making me my drunken meatballs. And my drunken meatballs, it's a recipe all on my own. I developed it over a few years. Got it to the point where I can make it a few different ways based on availability of certain exotic ingredients.
That sounds good.
Now, as far as the question posed by Marcus, I would have to say that it's really it's quite clear from our movement from all of these years, right? Pre-Trump, we were going around, people were showing interest. Once Trump got elected, we saw the huge influx, the streets of LA packed like a sardine can, obviously not healthy for this current time, but, right at the start of Trump, a few years before the start of the current medical yada yada, people sardine can through the streets of LA protesting, saying resist, saying Calexit now. The hashtags that we use, no matter what we use, it blew up. It was going viral worldwide. And then things kind of quieted down some. Biden got in, was elected, right? And then some people before he was elected kind of, well, wait, hold on. There's another chance. Let's not give up yet. And, hey, cool, you don't want to throw in the towel on it. I get it. I'm not going to fault you for it. We here at Yes California realized long ago that the system was broken. We don't really hold it against folks, partly because we know what it's like, right? Marcus got into civic-minded stuff at one point, and, it was the American system that he was looking at, right? Same here. We all kind of start at that same place. So yes, tries to never really fault anyone for it, and we know it firsthand, but we also know that those who are willing to at least actually look at it without, personal opinions attached in there, usually do come around and realize, oh, this is about as American can get. And, if you really value the tenets of democracy and freedom, then there's not really any other choice, because laying down and just sticking with what's been going on, whether it's the red controlling it or the blue controlling it, red team and blue team both do not work for America, do not serve America. They serve their own parties, their own interests.
Yes, that part. And when Marcus asked, is this just an algorithm? Is this just media? And I don't know if it's Will Smith that quoted this, but he's saying this has always been going on. It's just being televised now. That's how I feel with anything, whether it's media, everybody's like, oh, Fox News or whatever news, don't believe the news, the media is dividing. The thing is, we're technology driven. We've advanced, we're technological. So, we're innovative. And that's how a lot of things have come to light because of technology. Like you said, back then we didn't have cameras. We couldn't prove that we were being lynched or people were, or this was going on or whatever. So it's like, it's just being televised now, and I'm not saying the media doesn't play a role in, instilling fear, but that's an old trick in the book, and it's been around, like I said, from our forefounders, fear is how you control people.
Well, in the Olympics, while Adolf Hitler was in control of Germany, a lot of the outside, it's another great example, right? A lot of the outside world hadn't really seen what it had become, right? It was black and white, old, grainy, yada, yada, and they could still see. And most of the world was mortified and frozen in place, mouth agape and everything. Just like, oh, dear sweet mother of Jesus. Uh-oh. Because it's clear when you see the entire place full of people who all look the same, and they're all doing the same thing that this dude is doing, and he's, and it's the Olympics, so they kind of translate, some stuff here and there, and even back then. And yeah, what he was saying was a toned down version that was a little more palatable for the world, but it was still some really extreme shit. And a lot of the world went, oh, fuck, this is not good. And rightfully so. And, I think it's a good comparison. Nowadays, people are, we saw, I had pointed out before Trump had been elected, right? Because I know I followed the Russiagate thing. It was disproven by the government. Russia didn't interfere with it. So, can't really contest it. I know some blue folk who, some blue party ride or dies who contest that, but think contesting Biden's is unconstitutional. Well, he cheated, but ours you can't say shit about. Like, well, don't be so quick to call that kettle black. So I have no problem saying that he was elected, and I don't kid myself, and that's why I'm like, yeah, he was elected. Hear that, people. Hear that. He was elected. More than half of the people, or half of the power, said, yeah, this is our guy. After he had started out on the campaign slogan of bread and oil, which is literally verbatim, other than the English rather than the German, verbatim of what Adolf Hitler's campaign slogan was before he took power. Bread and oil. Now, once it was pointed out to Trump campaign, someone managed to convince them, wait, change this. No, this is not good. You can't literally run on the same campaign slogan as Adolf Hitler, bro. But then he went to Make America Great Again, and making Germany great again was another of Adolf Hitler's. So it's not literal verbatim, because it's Make America Great Again, and it's in English, not German. The only difference. And so I don't kid myself. I've realized for a while that America was falling to fascism. Adolf Hitler himself told his officers before he closed the door and blew his brains out and did the world a favor. Should have done it much sooner. But, but yeah, he told them, look to the United States of America. It will be the bastion of the Fourth Reich. And, it's not really all of that long down the line, and America has clearly done that polarizing thing that fascism needs in order to thrive. I mean, we can see both the left and the right doing things that are, or pushing for things that are counterintuitive to democracy.
Well, they've always kept control.
Yeah, right? Because it's about control, not democracy. I was explaining this to with candidate Simbraze earlier. When we were talking about not the John Lewis Voting Rights one, but the Freedom to Vote Act or whatever that they're trying to push through, that's going to destroy third parties nationwide. Basically guaranteeing to pollers, which is literally against what the founding fathers of America wanted. Mm-hmm. They made that implicitly clear. Anything more than 2 party-based systems, but it is to have any number more than 2. We will not say a certain limit, but it may not be 2. It's like the holy hand grenade, right? Do not count to 3 unless you proceed, right? and do not count to 6, right? Well, there is no don't count to 6. It's just don't ever stop at 2. And that's what they're pushing for. And that's a Democratic-led thing. The Republicans are, and hear me out on this, the Republicans are right to push back on it and not support it. And if Kamala Harris uses her, 51.1% whatever power to push it through, then we can really just stop dancing around the bush, beating around the bush on it, and just say that she's definitely not for democracy. And now those of us in the California Bay Area know much better than even those outside of the California Bay Area how her private prison system profiteering thing, the whole scheme of doing that, really, really subjugated a lot of people for the purpose of turning them into commodities so that people can profit from their incarceration and manual labor. What does that sound like to you, Quinn?
Don't put me on blast.
I mean, I'm a white guy, so I don't want to be too quick to use the S word, right? But
I don't want to come up as an angry black woman, or I'm always pulling the race card, or
the race
all
card.
that bullshit.
So if you back up Jason, they can't claim that about you, Quinn. He pulled the race card, then you would back him up. So they can't claim that on you on this one.
True. But yeah,
because I have to defer as a white male who has not been, my ancestors were not subjugated in an ethnic way, right? I am German, but I'm not Jewish, African American, Latin, Latino, right? Unfortunately, I have ancestry from the wrong side of things.
Whoa! Hold on. No,
don't cut me off. People who did not behave like decent human beings.
There's nothing wrong with being white. It's not a bad culture. It's not a bad thing to be from.
But enslaving people is wrong.
Of course, but
there's no way to justify it.
He's saying it's not all white people, and I agree with that, because there are whites that died for our freedom who didn't believe in enslaving black people.
And you can be proud.
Yeah, and I have ancestors both who served in the United States military with honor and distinction, as well as family members from back in the tree who fought during World War II as Germans in the German army.
It happens.
Yeah.
I just don't want to. I'm over picking on white people and white culture. I just got to.
But I gotta not kid yourself about things, right? Everything is a chance to learn if you let it. If you let it teach you.
True.
So I'm able to see that, someone like myself just going off and saying, gee, this sounds like slavery, blah, 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 that's slavery. Well, from someone like me, that's not really what anyone wants to hear. Because who in the hell am I to say what is or isn't, right? When it comes to enslaving others. So that's why I defer to Quinn of, I want to hear, without me even having said it, I was trying to see, does this sound like slavery? Because I know how it sounds to me.
I get what you're coming from. I was just being facetious, but yeah, no, it's um, I said, history repeats itself, and that was my main thing with this divorce thing. I'm like, let's call it what it is. It's separation. I mean, it is. They are dividing. I mean, division, but it's the fine print that nobody's reading to me
Awesome.
behind it. So,
All right.
Yeah, well, and on the separation thing, is it the Declaration that starts off when, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary to dissolve the political, for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them to one another, or whatever,
Well
like that.
said. Well said.
Yeah, I can't believe I got that out on all
Nice.
press.
Wow.
Hey, who said smokers have bad lungs? I'm just kidding. No, sorry. Bad joke. I should not make that joke. Very unfortunate when people have to have that. Anyway, so the founding fathers knew that when humankind, mankind, right, humanity, we are fallible creatures. We are usually very selfish, very self-centered, very self-serving. Usually, most folks, to get some sort of, movement from them, it has to benefit them. Which, hey, one hand washes the other. Cool. I'm down with that. But at a certain extent, it stops being one hand washes the other, and it's more of one hand cuts off the other so that it can use it to go and wash other hands in exchange for its own hand washing.
Nice.
Well, I think in a nutshell, like I mentioned earlier, I mean, this country was built off of the backs and labor off of, people that were different from them. And there's always been a contingency plan, a fail proof. People don't understand the meaning behind police, the origin of policing. When they had the slaves out in the fields, the men on the horses were back then, well, what we now call policemen, but their job was to police the Negroes to make sure they didn't escape. Merrill Lynch, the Lynch letter, he taught white men how to keep us divided, how to control us, to keep us in place. So if we ever got out of line, that's how, when I hear this divide, United States, I immediately, and I can't speak for everyone, I personally immediately think of slavery. When people get out of line, like how they're saying right now, we're out of line because we're voicing our rights. We're fighting for our freedoms. We're questioning the government, their tactics, their policies. We're out of line. Face it, we're out of line. That's now red button, or our contingency plan, pull out the contingency plan, pull out the book. So what do we do now that they're out of line? Now they're asking questions. It's
How do we turn on each other?
Well, it's either exterminate. You get the Doctor Who reference, or 42, because the answer is always 42.
It's true. I really like your analogy of hands to wipe the other hands, and then it's like, no, it's chop off the hand and then use that hand to help other hands. I was like, that was some clever shit.
Well, oh yeah, so it one hand chops off the other and uses it to wash other hands in exchange for its own hand washing.
Right.
So rather than you and I coexist and help each other to both thrive, I'm going to undercut you so that I can potentially take everything you've got and work with all of what you have and what I have, but just for me, right? I don't want to share, because that's communism or socialism or one of those two isms, right? Those bad, terrible things. But yeah, it takes it and goes to go and get what it could have got by just exchanging in a mutually beneficial partnership in the first place. And so at this point, us, California, the hands that got chopped off, right? It is better for us to remove ourselves from their equation and no longer let them use us so that they can do things like warmonger around the world, literally all around the world. You know, all sorts of other things, topple fresh startup democracies and, you know, socialist type republics built by the people. Oh, yeah, no, definitely can't let that exist, because that proves what the United States isn't, which is what it should have been, what it could have been, and then also shows us that there is a better way. And we will be likely to pursue it once we see it.
Real quick, I want to call out James Young. James is a conservative Democrat, and I don't know what that word is, and I support national divorce. Great. I think my home state of South Carolina can do just fine with South Carolina. I'm not a progressive. That's the big idea, is that if California, well, especially when you see a second comment, I disagree with California progressivism. I want JFK-like policies. We old-fashioned Dems think we don't need progressiveness, which I support people to be, but I believe in traditional values. So what he's saying is, I don't like the way y'all do it over there in California. I don't want that over here in South Carolina. We're this way, and I support national divorce. That's what we're saying. So, James, we agree with you. At least, yes, California, the formal organization, does. Maybe not everybody appearing on this particular show, but yes, California's stance is exactly. We have wildly different regimes, so let's agree to peacefully separate. That's our point. So thanks, James. Yeah. Spread the word, national divorce. You know, one of the things that Yes California recently negotiated to host a panel on national divorce in March with Texas and New Hampshire. It will be the only panel on national divorce now that the topic is trending. And we're going to be doing it with two other secession movements. So it's going to be the top 3 most recognized secession movements in America meeting in March in New Hampshire. Yes, California from California, Texas Nationalist Movement from Texas, and Liberty Bloc from New Hampshire. And we'll be meeting there. So, James, you may want to get in on that. South Carolina. The whole point is that we want to show people that we can have a rational conversation. You don't necessarily have to like the idea. You don't necessarily have to be for it. But why can't we have a conversation? And why does everybody who wants to talk about the idea of national divorce have to be insane and crazy? We've been talking about it for a couple of years here. We're not crazy. We certainly don't want the same vision that I think a lot of conservatives in America want. And our opinion is you don't like our values here in California, and we love them. And we're not going to trade on that. Like, I can't tell you the number of people I've heard like, well, you know, maybe California will think twice about immigration. And I'm like, no. It's like, what are you doing? Or like transgender rights or something, and they're like no, there's not going to be a backlash. I mean, taxes are too high, and you might get a backlash on that, but nothing else. So I am minority religion. Yeah, I'm going to skip that. Sorry, buddy. I'm just going to stick with this here about how we can both agree on national divorce. So let's stick to that. We have different policies. That's the whole idea. I want to say thanks, James. James, you can email me if you want. I'll bring you on the show. Also, if you are representing a group out in South Carolina, I'll put you in touch with the people out who are organizing Liberty Fest. We're going to have Texas, New Hampshire, and California meet. talk about national force, maybe you can be part of that. Email me at marcus.ruiz.evans@gmail.com. We'll leave it there. Jason and Quinn, 10 more minutes, and then we'll wrap it up. Jason, you were in the middle of a statement.
Don't believe that.
Was I? I'm actually almost ready to start mixing up the meat here.
Oh, don't let us get in front of that. That looked awesome. Oh my God!
Yeah, so we've got leek, onion, mushroom, cremini mushroom. Thin sliced leek and onion. The mushrooms also very thin. Ground Italian pork sausage, ground lamb, ground beef, couple eggs. What's that? Bacon crumbles. And, as long as that doesn't spill, some Italian panko. Yeah, Italian seasoned panko breadcrumbs.
Is Veronica there?
Gonna make some meatballs. Yes, and she's got some company. I'm cooking us all some dinner.
Nice.
Yeah, and this sauce has been stewing down all day. And it's kind of 1 part tomato, 1 part broth and stock, and 1 part wine.
Yeah, Jason is a classically trained 5-star chef, by the way. That's not a joke. Yeah.
Yeah. See if I can. I don't know if I can get it back far enough to I even got my chef's apron and coat and everything on.
We need to have a in person where we all get together and do a cooking meet or
That's what I keep saying.
A show where we cook and we're eating and dining and talking.
That's Jason's been saying that. I need to get up there. All we have to do is stand up, and their little game is over.
And I'm down.
This little red bag is my traveling spice kit. I've even got my saffron, my favorite spice in the whole wide world.
Oh, now the view count goes up when the guy's talking about cooking. I'm going to shut up. What's going on? What are you cooking there, man?
Cal exit chef. Well, it's so this is my homemade drunken meatballs.
Like seriously, people
recipe.
should go to the show now. That's
Gordon Ramsay.
Cooking. Okay.
Because I can't really do this all one-handed, and my phone's dying anyway. So, but you know what meatballs look like. I don't make the little ones like little 1 egg. I make them like 2 egg kind of, Italian meatballs. Raw. That way you just plop 2 big old meatballs on top of your pasta, drown them in some sauce, pour a little more extra wine on them before you hit them with the sauce. Good to go.
I need Jesus, Mark.
Silent Mike says he can't make sourdough. It's been 2 years of trying. He still can't figure it out. So a lot of people need help. Three Freet says, that's side Gordon Ramsay. Okay. Well, we'll wrap up the show here. Thank you all for being here. It's always a good time. We're going to get better at it. We're trying this informal version where we follow up with a lot of the issues. So Sunday at 11 to about 1, you can always come. We'll have a formal discussion, big presentations, talk about high-level stuff, go over the news that relates to the idea of independence for California and incapacity, and also cover the projects that California is working on. Tuesdays, this evening, is what you saw, was our informal. Cursing allowed, good times. We're going to cry because we're still going to cover the same material we cover on Sunday. Probably going to laugh because you have to. And hope you had some fun. We want to keep doing this way. We're going to keep exploring this and moving in this direction. I'm not calling this a finalized product, but this is roughly the direction we want to go in. I'll leave it there.
I like the informal.
Right? It's a lot more fun, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think people can be authentic. Not that I'm saying that they're not on camera, but when you're formal, there's like informal is no holds barred, and formal is the opposite. You know what I'm saying? Or going with that. But I just like the platform in general. I mean, I think you're an earth angel, and I'm glad that you're able to get thus far. You know, you're getting a lot out there, a lot of awareness. You definitely are making a difference. So kudos to you. You go, boy.
You made me cry, Cliff. Really,
Stop it.
I already told you, like, I get triggered easy. It's that Mexican Catholic thing. I don't even believe, but like, you do a little bit of a guilt trip. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What did I do wrong? You're like, you are programmed into that. It is ridiculous. That's why I'm not like religious, because it's, boy, they do a number on you. So yeah, learning my buttons, girl. That's dangerous.
Danger is good. Danger is good.
Danger is good.
Sometimes.
All right, y'all. My phone is about to die. If the meeting's ending, I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight.
All right, night,
Enjoy
guys.
your dinner.
Yeah. All right.
Muchas gracias.
All right, I'll check y'all later.
There's been a Mike. Is Mike on here still? Because that's been Mike and Robert's been up there forever, but I haven't heard anything from.
Well, they're silent. They
okay. I didn't know if they were just frozen.
As we call them. I mean, they were both silent, and so we called one of them Silent Mike. Because I mean, Robert talks, but it's every once in a while, so we just call him Silent Mike. Because a lot of people they don't want to be heard on screen. They like to make comments, so that's why he'll make little comments. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's not uncommon, especially with the political nature of what we talk about. You know, people will feel that they are living in a free society, but they are terrified of being able to speak their mind freely. And I always ask, how does that mean you live in a free society then? Russia and China don't necessarily execute everybody who speaks out against the government. You just lose your apartment, lose your job, lose your promotions, lose your friends, lose your access to everything. And that alone is enough to keep a lot of people in line. And so,
that sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's my point. Is it going, we routinely call those countries backwards. And I go, what's this then? You're afraid you're going to lose a promotion or that university assignment or that job or your colleagues or whatever. That's what they do in totalitarian countries. But we're free.
They do that here too. That's how I ended up in this situation.
So that's why I'm like, I certainly don't want to live under those sorts of governments, but I'm like, you're really acting like you have nothing in common with these people. And I don't think that's true anymore. So that's partly why we're still looking at radical things like independence or possibly more independence, because it's just not working. This is not the same thing my grandfather talked about. I know that, and I'm not sure exactly what the right solution is, but I know saying, well, it's just another election. I think we tried that. I don't see that doing anything. I was reading an article today. I'll just bring this up real quick. It was an article today, and it was it was about what a totalitarian government looks like. Yeah, life in an authoritarian government. Life in authoritarian states is mostly boring and tolerable. Let me type that in. Life in authoritarian government is tolerable. Yeah, here we go. So this is truly terrifying. He was saying that Americans' conceptions of what a horrible totalitarian state are largely way off. Life in authoritarian states is mostly boring and tolerable. Americans have a dramatic overview of what the end of democracy looks like. So if you go down here, it was like the very bottom.
That's like so.
Everyday life in modern authoritarian regime is, in this sense, boring and tolerable. It is not outrageous. Most critics, even vocal ones, are not going to be murdered as Anna Politkovskaya was in Russia. They're going to be frustrated. Most not very vocal critics will live their lives completely unmolested by security forces. They will enjoy it when trains run on time, blame their government when they do not, gripe about their taxes, and save for vacation. Elections, when they happen, will serve the anesthetic function that Philip Schmitter attributed in the greatly underappreciated 1970 volume Elections Without Choice to elections in Portugal under Salazar. Life under authoritarian regime in such situations looks a lot like in democracy, as in Malaysia. Longtime Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad used to say, if you don't like me, defeat me in my district. That this could never happen was almost beside the point. There were elections, and the ruling National Front coalition deployed the same language of democracy that American politicians do today. And this article right here, Life in Authoritarian States, came out in 2017, right? So it's mostly boring. And one of the things that was very chilling that they concluded was that the difference between democracies and authoritarian states was that elections have changed. So it's not what people say. If you live in a country where there are elections and they talk about change, and then change actually happens after the election, you're in a democracy. If you're in a country where they talk about real change to problems and you elect and there is no change, and you elect and there is no change, and you elect and there is no change, and you elect and it's still, then you are not in a democracy. So Quinn, which one are we in?
You only want me to answer that?
No, I've had enough tears for the evening, so I'm done. I have to sleep. At some point, I'm a human being, and I like being able.
Point.
I mean, there's
Did
something.
You get the picture that I sent you in the email?
I think I got
Sure it
it.
went through.
I mean, I will go and face down, aggressive Trump supporters, and it's a thrill and it's in a rush, and I will deal with all the nasty stuff that we have to deal with every day. But at some point, it didn't load. Oh, yeah, no, I did show that.
Oh, okay, I can see it.
Yeah. And someday you gotta, you're human. Okay. Yeah, everyone deserves the illusion of freedom that we take for granted. That's what Silent Mike says. So that's just interesting. Yeah, etc. All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you all for being here. We'll catch you next week. Quinn, thanks. Always a pleasure. Robert, thank you. Silent Mike, thank you. Jason, I know that Veronica's going to be very happy right now, so appreciate it. We'll be here next week. We'll see you on
There's no Cassandra here, huh?
No, but I mean, we invited a lot of people, so people will be back. People have lives. They'll be back. That's why we do it every week. That's why it was Sunday. That's why it was
Well, I was
Tuesday.
just asking because you said come because, your text that you sent me, and I thought she was online. I just didn't notice her name anywhere. I didn't know she wasn't here.
I invited like everybody, and that's why we did. I mean, with activism, what I've seen is you have to have it like you have a lot of people involved and you're always doing something so that if people are busy or whatever, there's stuff always happening and moving. So just keep coming to the show. We can keep talking about homelessness. I'm sure people will be here and we'll build up a big fan base. It'll be great. Okay.
Well, yeah.
All right. I'll check you later.
Good night, everybody.
Night.